Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild. We're back at the sanctuary in Woodville, the site of our very first episode of Bayou Wild TV. Welcome back to Bayou Wild TV, and we hope you'll join us each and every week as we broadcast, telling you about the sportsmanship, the heritage, and the pleasure of getting out and enjoying the wild areas. Let's see what Martha Spencer remembers about that first trip.
The ultimate goal is we've been fortunate enough to be allowed to take a bull elk, which is a pretty big honor here because only a few have been taken at all. And no pressure.
It's pretty intimidating shooting your first anything on camera, and you would think after years and years on TV I would be more comfortable with it.
I think I missed.
I don't know.
Not to mention having everybody watching you while you do it. It was the first time Chris and Don and I had really hunted together as a gang. And it was a pretty awesome experience to share that with them and have them see my reaction firsthand. And it's also a very special experience to have that whole hunt documented from the time we got here to the cleaning of the deer to celebrating my birthday. It was just a pretty awesome experience to have our first episode really fall together that way.
But the real highlight of that trip was waking up to a winter wonderland. Well, a perfect end to a perfect trip. But boy, to wake up to this when we're leaving, this is a real special treat.
It doesn't really feel like we're in Mississippi at this point. We're
No, it does not.
7 miles from the Mississippi River. There's 3 inches of snow on the ground this morning.
What an incredible way to start our journey of Bayou Wild, where over the past 3 years, we've met some passionate outdoorsmen and women, visited beautiful places, and shared some exciting adventures.
I think when we started this show, we had pretty big ambitions for kind of what we wanted to accomplish, to do something different with storytelling in the outdoors. And I've been really proud to see how it's evolved.
Plan now for the 17th Annual Eagle Expo in Morgan City, February 18th and 19th. Friday night social gathering ticket includes Saturday's bird watching, wetland and wildlife preservation seminars in the heart of the unique Atchafalaya Basin, boat tours to Eagle Nest, bird viewing field trips, a CC Lockwood photo workshop. Complete details at CajunCoast.com. Special group rate for 5 or more at the Eagle Expo, Morgan City, February 18th and 19th. Visit LouisianaTravel.com to plan your trip today.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Miss Louisiana Julia Claire Williams on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I'm sure you know that clean, affordable propane gas is used in houses across our state. It's used in cooking, water heaters, drying clothes, and heating homes. But did you know that if you ever run out of propane, you need a certified dealer to inspect your system for leaks before it's refilled? That's the law. Propane is safe energy for everyone, and we want to keep it that way.
Welcome back. We're celebrating our 100th episode, and in Bayou Wild, we meet all sorts of characters. We meet people from other states, all different ages, and all different personalities.
I've been hunting since I was 6 years old, and I developed a passion for spending time with family, and that's really when you got to spend the best time with your dad and your uncles, when they weren't occupied with work and they weren't occupied with other things. They're out at the camp. So I guess I always loved duck hunting. But in the 80s, somewhere in the 80s, I walked into a taxidermy shop in Mandeville with a taxidermist named David Luke. And I saw a studio full of the most exotic birds from all over the world. And I said, Dave, I want to do this. I want to get every North American waterfowl.
Normally we do this in like late April, early May. Usually the entire month of May is when the river comes up every year. Today's haul was, I mean, you can't really beat that. Those are perfect eater size catfish, but there was one year that the back of Eric's kayak was underwater.
Just when I think I've done it all. Dinkopotamus. Ah! You settle down. People shove their arms up in these things? What are they thinking?
Whenever someone needs bait, go get the bait. Or if we're doing any kind of little projects like the little orchard right here, when they got tore down by Barry, we did this. I'll help them with that.
Kind of do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. No job title.
We took some time admiring what the Lapérouse family has collected over the past 100 years. And as the saying goes, if these walls could talk.
We got all sorts of equipment, but mostly it's all collectibles. We just haven't had time to go around to go through it, see where we want to put it and whatnot.
Well, we've had a lot of people, you might call them celebrities, that we invite to come out, and I think people enjoy seeing someone out of their natural element. And when you're talking about taking big FREEDIA gar fishing, that's about as out of an element of somebody as you can get.
That's right, girl.
I never seen that method. Oh, here we go, here we go. Whoa, he wants out.
Get him.
Get him.
Go ahead, FREEDIA girl. Go ahead, FREEDIA girl. You gotta twerk for FREEDIA. Twerk for FREEDIA, so.
But we've also had some LSU athletes and coaches come out there with us. Those were a lot of fun. Amanda Shaw playing the fiddle and singing in the swamp. What could be more natural than that? And along the way, we've met some very interesting people, and hopefully we'll continue to do that in the future.
But I think probably the best moment early on in my injury was when I got my truck. I have a really nice truck that allows me to drive with hand controls and get in the woods and pull boats and do all the things that I used to do.
But some of the people we meet on the shows really impact me, and a lot of them are children. It's really great to see a younger generation of outdoors men and women. We've met some of the 4-H shooters that are just the up-and-comers of what we do.
What we're about to do is we're about to do a shooting competition. We're going to try and shoot the turkey at 48 yards and hit the head.
Got it again.
Whether it's meeting a 14-year-old girl in South Dakota who literally passed a law at the state to allow for more hunting for youth, to children back home who maybe don't get the opportunity to get out in the outdoors, but we've been able to bring them to do something that they may not get a chance to do.
One of the first shows we did with a young boy, Alan Mason, and he didn't have much opportunity to hunt. And you can tell he was a teenager, he doesn't really show much emotion, but you can tell he was excited when he did it.
We're known at Bayou Wild for helping get first deer kills, and I got to congratulate Alan here, 13 years old, finally got his first deer. It's a nice deer, Alan, very nice, and you made a good shot.
Hunting is more than just killing it. It is giving back, it's teaching. It's more about letting these kids come out here and enjoying it. And this is what it's all about.
A lot of times when people think of hunting and fishing, they think of a certain age group, a certain sex, but it's really all about everybody. We've been so many places where we've had women shooting. Some of my friends are some of the most avid outdoors women I know, and to get them out into the marsh shooting ducks or to get them out on a boat has just been such a joy to see.
You know, there's a lot of interesting people that go into making interesting shows, and we've certainly had our fill. Megan Cruz, Miss Louisiana. What a charming young lady she is. And she probably has maybe one of the most outstanding moments in that 100 episodes, when that moment of truth where she had to either grab that frog or go home ashamed.
Watching Megan Cruz, Miss Louisiana, go against all instincts that she had and grab a frog that she didn't want to do was pretty fun to watch. It was pretty fun to be a part of. To see people overcome those challenges is always fun.
That was one of those moments that you just don't forget. DJ Rhett, you take the guy anywhere, and what a scream he is. He's got a Cajun comedian. He's born at it. He's very good at it, but he's also very knowledgeable and talented.
All right, down. Yeah, a little further back. Go ahead.
Oh!
You got him.
I got mine on my first one, so I just want to let y'all know that.
Watch this, swamp people. Let's go.
And even our co-host, Martha Spencer, watching her for the first time do some things that she's never done before. I can remember when she hit that pheasant, the joy and the relief, in fact, in how she lit up when she did that. Oh.
Oh! A blind squirrel gets none every once in a while.
And I had to egg her on. I said, look, once you get it, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great show. And she did. It turned out to be a great moment in our show.
And when she catches some of the fish that she's never done before, she's almost like as interesting as some of the people that we take out of their element. Even though she's very much in her element, doing these things for a lot of time, it's been a real joy to watch her.
I guess the three of us work well together because we all bring something a little bit different to it. Don has the experience. He always seems to know what he's doing, know what he's talking about. And I guess it's from doing it for decades. Martha's always eager. She's always eager to do something new, try something new.
Don and I aren't so competitive that it's not fun. And I'll never be able to hold a candle to the things he's done or shoot a shotgun as well as he does. But he inspires me to do better at it. And obviously I have worlds to go at what I do. But I love sometimes when maybe I do get a few more bites or my lure does a little better.
A lot of my competition's gone. It's over with. I don't need to compete anymore. Martha, on the other hand, yeah, she's very competitive. And I guess sometimes it brings out a little bit of competitiveness in me, whether who's shooting a duck or who's catching more fish. Yeah, you'll see it, but it just makes things more and more fun.
It motivates me to want to keep doing it and get better at it. And I'll never claim to be the expert in the area that everybody knows him to be, but I'm pretty lucky to have one of the best mentors in the outdoor realm that I think Louisiana has.
See, we got, look at here, look, Martha.
I'm sorry, I'm busy.
Look what he bit. Look, the dandy Donnie. Who knew it was a saltwater bait?
Rigged.
No.
No, I believe he actually hooked it, but I also believe those fish that day would have ate just about anything put in front of them.
And I'm glad Martha finally admitted that she realized that I actually caught that fish on that bait.
I think you put a McDonald's chicken nugget on a hook, they probably would have ate it.
CLG, ready, set, gumbo.
You'll score a touchdown every time you serve Uncle Larry's Ready, Set, Gumbo.
Ask for Uncle Larry's Ready, Set, Gumbo at a store near you.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Add the taste of Louisiana to your next meal. If you like creamy, bold, tangy or spicy. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with sauces from Louisiana fish fry products.
We're looking back at the 100 episodes of Bayou Wild TV. And while the focus of our outdoor adventures is Louisiana, we do travel to other regions and other parts of the country.
I was videoing the other boat and let my guard down looking to tunnel vision, and a fish came right up and smacked me in the side of the camera. So it is a huge danger, especially when they get so thick. You've probably seen the YouTube videos of folks going out and catching them, but really it is a danger, and when something that large is moving and you're moving so fast into it, it's like getting hit with a rock going 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of stories with Bayou Wild episode, and season 6 is going to have even more coming out. But you know, the ones that come to mind, the crew of the Miss Kathy, how those 4 guys became joined as buddies forever by catching the state record fish and the biggest fish ever caught in Louisiana, the giant tuna. We've also done some features with people who have developed friendships over a long time. Captain Mike Gallo, Dutch Prager, 2 guys from different generations that see eye to eye and just have become like father and son, and you couldn't get them closer together.
You know, at 94, it's getting a little harder for me to get around. I got to be careful. In fact, any day you fish is a wonderful day that I think. So I just hope that the good Lord gives me a few more years. Whatever he gives me, I'll be thankful for.
The stories and the shows that jump out at me are the ones that have comedy in them. We've done a lot of really silly things. Nutria hunting in the Venice marshes was just hysterical to me and so much fun.
Oh, get him again! You got him! You wanted him! Get him again! Get him again! Get him again! Yeah, he did! That a girl!
Also going shrimping, because everyone's seen Forrest Gump and everyone thinks they know what it is to go shrimping, but you don't realize the hard work involved, the long hours. So going out in the lake on a slow moving boat, getting up at 1 a.m. to get out there to launch on time, being in absolutely soaking rain and not letting that stop us, and then getting to eat some warm soup at the end that was home cooked on the boat is probably one of my favorite memories. It was one of the hardest days we've had because we got put to work, but it reaped a huge yield and was a lot of fun.
Well, you see, you got fried shrimp, blackened shrimp, stewed shrimp, boiled shrimp, shrimp po' boy, shrimp stew, shrimp gumbo, Cajun shrimp.
Gumbo
It's pretty
shrimp.
much the fruit of the sea.
But you know, the other aspect of Bayou Wild TV with these 100 episodes is Chris Lecoq, the guy that's behind the microphone and behind the camera. You don't see him out there in front of it, but boy, you see his work. Whether it's using drones or some of these soft lights, he's just got the eye to capture those very special moments I talked about.
It's really hard to be creative in this day and age with outdoor TV because everybody uses GoPros and phones, and everybody can take their own fishing pictures and shoot their own YouTube channel. I think there has to be something that sets me apart as a professional, always thinking creatively behind it. One shot that'd probably have to be, I think, maybe the money shot, they say, the one that would never think I'd get the opportunity. It has to be one of two of the whales that we got. And to say that one of them happened in Alaska and one happened in the Gulf of Mexico, I think is pretty unique.
Christopher Lecoq, our wonderful cameraman, has been a little bit of a jinx and a blessing. The only 2 trips that he's actually come offshore with me on the boat that I work on were 2 of the most memorable days I've ever had on that boat. The first one was because we set out on a tuna trip, which wound up being a 20-hour adventure catching the biggest fish we've ever seen on the boat. The other was another tuna trip, which was another problematic day in the tuna realm. But we came across a pod of sperm whales.
The fact that we were able to come across that whale that Martha mentioned, and we were able to get the drone up, get it to it before it swam away. I mean, they said sometimes you'll see them and then they'll dive and you'll never see them again.
So I always know when we bring Chris on the boat, whether we catch fish or not, it's gonna be an adventure.
Not all those moments involve interesting people. Sometimes it's interesting places, it's scenarios, and to see that transform from out into the wild and bring it to your living room requires a lot of talent and a lot of professionalism.
I'm not really pressured to want to put the camera down and pick up a fishing pole because I know I'm here to capture this moment. And sometimes I think capturing the emotion in that moment might be somewhat even more important. You have to be in the right spot at the right time a lot of times.
Got him.
We just literally creeped and walked about 300 yards and came around this hill. And as soon as I peeked over, all I could see was horns, and he looks up at me, and he's like 30 yards away. I was just fortunate enough to make a great shot on him. I mean, right here. He ran 40 yards, and there he is.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a non-profit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemarie Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
That comes together nicely like that. I would add my orecchiette or whatever pasta you want. This is cooked, and what I like about this is really a good quick camp dish too, because you're always looking for something that that you can get on the plates quick.
We are so fortunate when we decided to include cooking what we catch and what we kill into the program, to be able to get a guy like Chef John Foltz, a true professional in every sense of the word, but he's also a historian, and he tells you a lot of stories about the people, the places, and particularly the culture of Louisiana. And hey, It ain't bad. The food don't get no better than Chef John Foltz.
I always say I was probably the luckiest kid in the world from probably some of the most impoverished areas that you could possibly come from. I grew up in St. James Parish, and our house was between the river and the swamp, so we could walk out the front door up the levee to the Mississippi, which gave us not only swimming, but drop lines and catfish, and early on you became pretty self-sustaining. We lived off of the land. So it was a great life in a place. When I look back at it, I think to myself, I wouldn't be here today without it. And maybe in those days I thought I should be in New York, but boy, am I glad I was in St. James.
The Bayou Wild team is at a very different kind of place tonight. We're on Canal Street in downtown New Orleans at the Ritz-Carlton, and the purpose of being here is to honor a special team member of Bayou Wild TV.
What I'm changing a little bit today is treating that game and that fish in a way that I want to elevate it. I want people to know that not only do we have the best product, we have the best product to come and visit Louisiana to catch and hunt. Time-honored recipes are the best, and to take those time-honored recipes and move them up a little bit. To say what's my favorite wild game that people would be shocked to know, man, I love a smoked raccoon gumbo. You give me a smoked coon and I'll lock the screen door. I don't want anybody coming in.
Well, it's been 100 episodes, who can believe that, of Bayou Wild TV, and as you look back on it, you try to look at some of the most interesting people you've met along the way, some of the most interesting moments, and of course some of the beautiful video that we've shot.
There's an old saying that time flies when you're having fun, and nothing could be a truer statement than the creation of Bayou Wild and the 4 years we've been filming it. And it's also a pleasure to share those stories with people that don't get to do it. And I think a lot of people live kind of vicariously through what we're showing them.
I look forward to seeing what we can get into next, it seems. What's the next crazy idea that we're going to have whenever we pool our ideas together?
We certainly bring you the hook and bullet stuff, the how-to, the where-to, that's part of it. But we go much deeper than that. We actually touch the culture, the cuisine, and really what makes us Bayou Wild.